Welcome to the channel. Today we've brought you rare 1-cent coins that have sold at auctions for extremely high prices. These are not ordinary coins. They carry minting errors that make them rare and highly valuable to collectors. So, don't look away. Let's start the video. This coin once sold for over $39,000. But here's the part they don't tell you. It wasn't made of gold. It wasn't a misprint from a famous movie star's estate. It was a penny. A 1993 1-cent coin. And it sat in someone's jar of loose change for nearly 20 years before anyone realized what they were holding. What made this ordinary-looking coin explode in value wasn't its age. It wasn't its condition alone. It was a tiny mint mark and one invisible mistake that turned pocket change into a collector's holy grail. Let's go back. The early 1990s. The world was shifting. The Cold War had just ended, but the US Mint wasn't celebrating. They were under pressure. Demand for coins was skyrocketing, and the Mint was running its presses like a machine gun in a dark alley. Fast, relentless, and sometimes sloppy. The Lincoln cent had already been around for decades. First struck in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The designer? Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian immigrant who carved Lincoln's profile with such detail that people swore you could see the president's exhaustion from the Civil War. By 1993, the cent was made mostly of zinc with a thin copper jacket. Cheap, mass-produced. Over 11 billion cents were struck that year alone. 11 billion. You could fill swimming pools with them. So how does one of those become worth $39,000? Here's where the psychology kicks in. Coin collectors aren't normal people. They're treasure hunters who never left the playground. They don't just see coins, they see tiny metal time capsules. And when they find something that shouldn't exist, a coin the mint never meant to release, their hearts race faster than a sprinter on jet fuel. The 1993 penny wasn't famous when it was minted. It became famous because of what happened after. Because of a mint mark. Because of a mistake so small you need a magnifying glass to see it. But so significant that it would trigger bidding wars in dark auction rooms. The mint mark is the letter that tells you where the coin was born. No mint mark? That means Philadelphia, the big factory, the workhorse. A D, that's Denver, the wild child of the mint. Tougher climate, faster production, more room for error. And S is San Francisco, mostly proof coins, shiny and perfect. But the 1993 cent that sold for $39,000, it had a D, Denver. Why does that matter? Because in 1993, Denver was running its presses at full tilt. And in that chaos, something beautiful and broken happened. Error number 1, die crack, lowest value, $50 to $200. Imagine a stamp. Now imagine that stamp has a tiny crack in it. Every time you press it, a hairline scratch appears on the paper. That's a die crack. On a coin, it looks like a thin raised line. On a 1993 D, a die crack near Lincoln's shoulder might sell for $50. Not life-changing, but enough to make you check your change. Error number 2, off-center strike, $300 to $1,000. The blank coin slips during striking. The die hits off-center. Part of the design is missing. The more off-center, the higher the value. A 1993 D off by 30%, you're looking at $500. Off by 50% with the date showing, now you're over $1,000. Collectors love chaos. Error number 3, lamination error, $1,500 to $4,000. The copper layer peels away from the zinc core. It looks like the coin is shedding its skin. This happens when impurities get trapped during manufacturing. The metal rejects itself, and collectors will pay thousands for a coin that looks like it's falling apart. Error number 4, double die, $8,000 to $15,000. This is where the magic happens. A double die means the design was impressed twice onto the die itself, slightly offset. When that die strikes coins, every single one carries a ghost image. Look at the letters, look at the date. If Liberty looks like it's trembling, you might be rich. A strong double die on a 1993 D can hit $15,000 easily. Error number 5. The Brockage error, highest 39,000 plus. And now, the monster. A Brockage error happens when a struck coin gets stuck to the die. Then the next blank coin comes in, and instead of being stamped by the die, it's stamped by another coin. The result? A mirror image impression. Lincoln's face stamped backwards, indented, haunting. The 1993 D that sold for $39,000 wasn't just any Brockage. It was a full Brockage. Perfect. Mirror. No damage. Graded MS67 by a top service. And when it hit the auction block, two collectors went to war. One wanted it for his complete error set. The other wanted it because he'd never seen one that clean. The hammer fell. $39,000. For a penny. The shock ending. If you have ever checked your pocket change, this might be the moment you start. Because somewhere out there, right now, a 1993 D with a hidden mistake is sitting in a jar, a drawer, or a vending machine return slot, and the person holding it has no idea. But here's the thing that keeps collectors awake at night. That $39,000 coin wasn't even the rarest penny from that year. $65,000 for a penny so strange. The US government tried to destroy every single one. The mystery begins. This coin doesn't look like a normal cent. It doesn't sound like one either. And when the first one showed up at a coin show in the 1980s, the dealer almost called the Secret Service, because this coin wasn't supposed to exist. The history, a nation in crisis. Richard Nixon was in the White House. The country was drowning in inflation. Gas lines stretched for blocks. The price of copper had gone insane, and the US Mint faced a terrifying problem. It cost more than 1 cent to make a 1-cent coin. That's right. By 1974, the metal in a penny was worth more than the coin itself. People started hoarding them, melting them. The mint panicked. So they did something desperate. They experimented with new materials, aluminum, plastic, even steel again. And in 1974, they struck a small test batch of aluminum cents, light as a feather, silver in color. They handed a few to members of Congress as samples. Then the vending machine industry lost its mind. Aluminum cents were too light. Machines couldn't detect them. People would be putting slugs in soda machines. So the government ordered every single aluminum cent destroyed, melted, erased from history, or so they thought. The collector's obsession. But here's where things take a strange turn. One congressman kept his sample, then another. A few slipped through the cracks. And over the next decade, collectors
whispered about the ghost cents of 1974. Coins that legally shouldn't exist, coins the government had tried to kill. The obsession wasn't just about rarity, it was about rebellion. Owning a 1974 aluminum cent meant you had something the US government couldn't take back. It was a tiny middle finger to the mint, and collectors would pay anything for that feeling.
Most of the aluminum test strikes were made in Philadelphia, no mint mark. But the one that sold for $65,000, it had a D. Denver. Why? Because Denver struck a handful of aluminum cents as part of the same experiment. But while Philadelphia's samples were mostly recovered, Denver's were messy, records lost, coins unaccounted for, and when one finally surfaced in 2014, authenticated and graded, the coin world exploded. The D made it even rarer. Denver's production records were incomplete. Some experts believe fewer than 10 Denver aluminum cents exist, maybe fewer than 5. The errors, 5 levels of destruction, values rising. Error number 1, off-metal strike. Lowest value, $2,000 to $5,000. This isn't your grandfather's error. An off-metal strike means the coin was struck on a planche meant for another coin. Imagine a cent stamped onto a dime's blank. Wrong size, wrong metal. Collectors go insane for this. A 1974 D struck on a nickel planche. That's a $5,000 conversation piece. Error number 2, die adjustment strike, $8,000 to $15,000. When the mint tests a new press, they sometimes strike coins with too little force. The result is a weak strike. Faint details, ghostly appearance. Most are destroyed, but a few escape. A 1974 D with a die adjustment error is so rare that one sold for $12,000 in 2019. Error number 3. Clipped planche, $20,000 to $30,000. The metal strip misfeeds. The punch clips a corner. The coin comes out looking like someone took a bite out of it. On a normal cent, a clip might be worth $50. On a 1974 D aluminum cent, it's a $20,000 anomaly. Error number 4. Double denomination, $40,000 to $55,000. This is the one that makes experts curse. A double denomination error happens when a coin is struck twice. First with one denomination, then with another. A cent stamped over a dime, or a quarter stamped over a cent. The layers overlap, the designs clash. One of the few known 1974 D double denomination errors sold for just under $50,000. Error number 5. The unauthorized aluminum cent, highest $65,000 plus. And now, the king. The 1974 D aluminum cent that wasn't supposed to leave Denver. Not a test strike for Congress, not a sample. Just a coin that escaped. No paperwork, no authorization. Just a worker slipping one into his pocket on the way out the door. That coin surfaced in 2014, graded MS66. The D mint mark sharp as a knife. The aluminum surface so clean you could see your reflection. The auction house expected $30,000. Then 2 bidders locked in. Phone lines, online bids. A live audience holding their breath. $65,000. Before we reveal the rarest version, make sure you're subscribed because what's coming next might surprise you. This wasn't even the most expensive penny from the 1970s. And the next coin, it doesn't just break records, it changes history. And if you think this is impressive, wait until you see what happened next. $99,000 for a penny that almost never left the factory floor. The mystery begins. This coin doesn't have a double die. It doesn't have a brockage error. It doesn't have an exotic metal. It has something far more dangerous. A mistake so small, so invisible, that the mint never even knew it happened. Until a collector with a microscope and too much time on his hands changed everything. John F. Kennedy was president. The Cuban Missile Crisis was months away. America was still innocent, or pretending to be. The Lincoln cent had been around for over 50 years. Same design, same size, same look. But underneath the surface, the mint was changing. They were modernizing, replacing old presses, training new workers. And in that transition, quality control became optional. The 1962 cent was supposed to be simple. Copper, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Solid, heavy. The kind of coin you could drop on a table and hear ring like a bell. But in 1962, the mint was also experimenting with new planche suppliers, new alloys, and one batch of blanks was wrong. The collector's obsession. For 20 years, no one noticed. Then, in the early 1980s, a collector named Billy Crawford bought a roll of 1962 D cents from a bank. Just a normal roll. He was putting together a set of Denver coins, nothing special. But when he looked at the first coin under a magnifying glass, something felt off. The color was slightly different. The weight was wrong. He sent it to a lab. The results came back. Almost no tin. A weird mix of copper and zinc that didn't match mint records. Crawford didn't sell. He searched. Over the next decade, he found 8 more, all from 1962, all from Denver, all with the wrong metal composition. The mint had no explanation. The records from 1962 were incomplete, but the coins were real. And when Crawford finally sold one in 2007, the bidding started at $10,000 and didn't stop until it hit $99,000. The mint mark reveal. The D is the key. Philadelphia's 1962 cents are common. Millions exist. But Denver's 1962 cents? Something happened there. A contaminated batch of copper strips. A supplier who cut corners. A foreman who looked the other way. The D mint mark on these coins isn't just a letter. It's a warning label. Every 1962 D with the wrong metal composition is a survivor of a quality control disaster. And collectors will pay $99,000 for a disaster they can hold in their hand. The errors: 5 levels of destruction, values rising. Error number 1, die chip, $100 to $500. A tiny piece of the die breaks off. The coin has a little bump where a letter should be clean. Common, boring. But on a 1962 D with the wrong metal, that bump might add a few $100s. Error number 2, strike through, $800 to $3,000. Something gets between the die and the planche. A piece of wire, a fleck of grease, a dead insect. Yes, that happens. The coin is stamped with an impression of debris. A strike through on a normal cent is weird. On a 1962 D wrong metal cent, it's a $3,000 conversation starter. Error number 3, rotated die, $5,000 to $12,000. The die twists during striking. The front of the coin faces one way, the back faces another. Normally, a 10-degree rotation is a curiosity. A 90-degree rotation is a treasure. A 180-degree rotation on a 1962 D wrong metal cent, $12,000. Easy. Error number 4, multiple strike, $20,000 to $40,000. The coin is struck, shifts, struck again, shifts, struck again. 3 strikes, 4 strikes. The design turns into a nightmare of overlapping Lincolns. One of the few known 1962 D multiple strikes sold for $38,000 in 2018. Error number 5, the wrong planche monster, highest $99,000 plus. This is the one. Not a die crack, not a rotated die. A planche so far outside mint specifications that it should have been destroyed. Wrong thickness, wrong weight, wrong color. The 1962 D that sold for $99,000 was struck on a planche intended for a foreign coin, a Venezuelan centavo. How did it get into a Denver mint press? No one knows. But here's the part that haunts collectors. The buyer immediately put it in a safe, never to be seen again. The coin exists, it's real, but no one can look at it unless they pay. The cinematic explosion. So here you are, 3 coins, 3 decades, 3 mint marks, a 1993 D that hid in plain sight for 20 years, a 1974 D that the government tried to destroy, a 1962 D that shouldn't exist at all. The highest price among them? $99,000 for a penny. But remember, every single one of these coins started in someone's pocket, someone's jar, someone's ignorance, and that means the next one could be yours. Check your change before someone else does.